Hello everyone and welcome to day 4 of special right triangles. This one is on 45, 45, 90 right triangles. So let's draw your attention to this special right triangle here. So 45, 45, 90 right triangles have two equal sides. These two legs are equal to each other. Notice they're both x, and x is going to be the same number. The hypotenuse, or the longest side, remember we can tell which side is the longest side because it's opposite from the 90. The longest side is equal to x times root 2. So we have our two short sides that are x. Our longest side is x times root 2. So all kind of the same number. So remember, this is not changed from yesterday. If we're getting larger, we're going to be multiplying. And if we're getting smaller, we will be dividing. Okay, so we're going to be filling in a table kind of like how we did for day 3. When we have one of the legs, one of the x's, and we want the hypotenuse, we will be multiplying by square root of 2. And that'll give us the length of the hypotenuse. And when we have the hypotenuse and we want one of the legs, we will be dividing by root 2. So we need to find the hypotenuse when given the leg for these first two. We are given our leg, which is 2. We are getting bigger because the hypotenuse is the longest side. So we will be multiplying by root 2. So we're going to be taking the measure of our leg, which is 2, and we will be multiplying by square root of 2, which is just 2 root 2. Number 2, same concept. Our leg is right here. It's 11. We are getting bigger. We are finding our hypotenuse, again, opposite from that 90. So we're going to be taking that 11 and multiplying it by root 2, and we get 11 root 2. Okay, for 3 and 4, I am given the length of my hypotenuse, and I need to find the leg. So I am going to be getting smaller. So I'm going to be taking my hypotenuse length, which is 7 root 2, as shown here, and dividing that by root 2. So 7 root 2 divided by root 2, writing that as a fraction. Those divide out, so we are left with just 7. So our leg is 7. Number 4. On this one, we're given the length of our hypotenuse again, which is opposite from the 90, and we need to find our leg, so we are getting smaller. So we're going to take 16 and we are going to divide it by root 2. So that's 16 divided by, as a fraction, root 2. Now I can't have any radicals on the bottom, so to get rid of the radical, I'm going to multiply both top and bottom by square root of 2. And when I do that, I'm left with 16 square root of 2 on the top. And square root of 2 times square root of 2 is just 2. So just a 2 on the bottom. One last step, 16 divided by 2 is 8. So this is actually 8 root 2 when you reduce. Okay, number 5. Jason is adding a climbing wall to his little brother's swing set. If he starts building 5 feet out from the existing structure and wants to have a 45 degree, how long must the wall be? So let's go ahead and draw our picture. Here's our triangle. So this is a 45 degree angle, and we know it's 5 feet out. So we need to find the length of the wall. So we are given the leg, we need the length of the hypotenuse. So we're going from the leg to the hypotenuse. We are getting larger. So we're going to take that leg, 5, we're going to multiply it by root 2. And we end up with 5 root 2. Now we need to round to the nearest tenth, because 5 root 2 doesn't give us anything or any meaning in terms of measurement if it's not in like a set number. So once I multiply that out, I'm going to get 7.1. So it has to be 7.1 feet long. Okay, we've got some last couple examples. So number 6. We just need to solve for the variable in this case. So it doesn't tell us which one we have or which one we need. We need to figure that out. So in this one, we have this side right here. We're told it's 12. And we need this side right here. It has the x. The side with the x is the hypotenuse. It is opposite from my 90 degree angle. So we are given the leg. So we're going from the leg to the hypotenuse. And we are getting bigger. So when given the leg, 12, we need to multiply that by square root of 2. So 12 times root 2 is just 12 root 2. That's my answer. Number 7, on this one I'm given two side lengths, 6 and 6, and I need to find the length of my other side, z. So z I know is my hypotenuse, it's opposite from my 90, so we are getting bigger. So we are going from the leg to the hypotenuse. So I'm going to take my leg length, 6, and multiply it by square root of 2. And that's just 6 root 2. Okay, for number 8, I do have two variables, x and y, but the side that I'm given is this side right here, which is 5. That is my hypotenuse, and if you remember, in a 45, 45, 90 triangle, the legs are congruent, so x and y are equal. So if I find x, I find y, or if I find y, I find x. Easy enough. So I'm going from my hypotenuse to a leg, so I'm getting smaller. So I'm going to take my hypotenuse length, which is 5, and I'm going to divide it by square root of 2. I'm going to write that as a fraction, 5 divided by root 2. Again, can't have a radical at the bottom, so I need to multiply by square root of 2 on the top and the bottom to get that radical gone. So I get 5 root 2 over root 2 times root 2 is just 2. And that doesn't simplify anymore because 5 is not even, so I can't divide it by 2. So my answer is just going to be 5 root 2. And lastly is number 9. Again, the legs are congruent, so x and y are going to be the same. They're the same. I have my hypotenuse length, which is that one right there. So we are going from my hypotenuse to a leg. We are getting smaller. So I'm going to take that 6 and I'm going to divide it by square root of 2. So I'm going to write that as a fraction again. And when I have a radical at the bottom, that's not allowed, so I got to multiply square root of 2 on the top and the bottom. So I get 6 root 2 over 2. Now, one last step is to reduce. 6 divided by 2 is 3 root 2. And that is my answer. And that is it for day 4. See you guys for day 5. Bye!